Welcome to Safe Secure Surfing's review of Private Internet Access and IP Vanish VPN service. In this video we're going to be taking a look at both of these VPN service providers and see how they do. Right off the outset I want to say that both of these providers offer a great service, and we'll just see where the differences between them lie. So let's get started. So we're going to be comparing the following metrics. We're going to be looking at customer service, pricing, payment, privacy, speed test, IP locations, platform supported, and the DNS leak test. Take a look at each of these and we'll discuss them and see how they fare. So let's start off with customer service. Private Internet Access and IP Vanish both offer similar customer service platforms. They both offer 24-hour a day, 7-day a week coverage as far as customer service is concerned. You can send them an email or a note on their forums on their websites and they'll be able to answer very quickly. What they didn't have was a 24-hour 7-day a week chat option where you could instantly receive answers to your questions. I found that Private Internet Access had a slightly better response time when I submitted questions to their forums. So they were responding within about 15 minutes, whereas IP Vanish took between 3 to 4 hours to get back to me. So for this reason mainly, Private Internet Access ranks better on the customer service than compared to IP Vanish. Next we're going to take a look at pricing and see how the two services compare against each other. So here we are taking a look at the pricing comparisons between Private Internet Access and IP Vanish. Both of them have 3 different payment options. You can go with a monthly rate, a 6-month rate, or a yearly rate with Private Internet Access. IP Vanish offers a monthly rate, a quarterly rate, and a yearly rate. It should be noted with both the yearly rate and the quarterly rate for IP Vanish, or the yearly rate and the 6-month rate for Private Internet Access, they give a per month rate, but they're billed annually or quarterly or semi-annually respectively. So you won't be paying a single monthly charge, you'll be paying one lump sum at the beginning of your contract. At first glance here, Private Internet Access is the obvious winner. They're 30% cheaper on a monthly basis, and the savings go up from there. What isn't as obvious though is that IP Vanish has some coupon codes that bring down their costs quite considerably. They offer 3 different coupon codes that you can receive: 20% off, 25% off, and 30%. I've included them here in the chart, so we'll go with the 30% off because who wouldn't want to save the most money that you can? So when we compare IP Vanish using their 30% off coupon versus Private Internet Access, we see that their monthly rate is virtually the same. They have a 0.7% difference between them, with IP Vanish being slightly more expensive. For their 6-month rate, so what I've done with this is I've taken the quarterly rate and then just doubled it for IP Vanish. IP Vanish is about 4.5% more expensive. Now the real big difference is, so if you go with the annual pricing contract, IP Vanish is still 26% more expensive than Private Internet Access. So what we can see here is that from the outset it looks like Private Internet Access is much cheaper than what IP Vanish is. But once we apply the coupons, we see that it brings, especially on the monthly basis, it brings it down to very comparable. So here I'll give Private Internet Access the edge because of their cheaper prices. Onward and upward, as they say. So we're going to go over and take a look at the 2 different payment options that both of these services offer. Private Internet Access and IP Vanish don't have a lot of differentiation between the two of them here. They accept all major credit cards: Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. They both take PayPal, Bitcoin, and then they have a few other options that you can purchase with as well. Private Internet Access offers 6 different other options, and IP Vanish offers 15 different ones. Now the one thing that really distinguishes Private Internet Access from IP Vanish here is that they allow you to pay with department store gift cards. So you could pick up a card from Target or Walmart or something like that and pay for your VPN service without any way of being traced. So you'd buy the card at the store, and then they have a website that they work with on their webpage, and you can pay with that. They offer the rates aren't quite as good as if you were paying with credit card or PayPal. For example, they give some potential example trades that you could use here. You have a $25 Starbucks gift card and give you 100 days of access. For instance, a $32 Best Buy gift card will give you 129 days of access, and a $50 Walmart gift card will give you 366 days of access. There's just some different ones that they offer here. So because of that one difference, I give it the edge to Private Internet Access here when it comes to payment methods and options that are available. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at the different privacy options that both the VPN services offer and how well they'll protect your information. So they both offer the industry standard 256-bit AES encryption, as well as the protocols PPTP, OpenVPN, and L2TP / IPsec. Where their difference here is, and they're not a big difference, but Private Internet Access offers more servers, over 3,200 servers in 25 countries, whereas IP Vanish offers 750 VPN servers in 60 countries. So Private Internet Access has more servers in fewer countries, and IP Vanish has fewer servers in more countries. So both of these differences here kind of balance out, and there's not a real winner here in this category. So now we're going to take a look at the speed tests and compare the results before and after each VPN service was launched. We use 3 different websites: speedtest.net, speedtest.org, and speakeasy.net /speedtest in order to check out our system speeds, and then we average the results. So Private Internet Access before the VPN was launched had an average download speed of 6.90 megabits per second and an upload speed of 1.15 megabits per second. This compares against IP Vanish's average of 6.68 megabits per second and upload speed of 1.13 megabits per second. So the results show here not a big difference between the two of them. So after the VPN services were launched, Private Internet Access's speeds dropped from 6.90 megabits down to 6.31 megabits for their download speeds, and their upload speed was 1.15 down to 1.08. IP Vanish's went from 6.68 down to 6.28, and for their download speed, and their upload speed went from 1.13 down to 1.10. So when we compare these two, the upload speeds were virtually the same at 1.08 for Private Internet Access and 1.10 for IP Vanish, so no difference there. There was a little bit more of a spread between IP Vanish's speed test results for the download speed as well as Private Internet Access's. Their speed test only decreased by 0.40 for IP Vanish, whereas Private Internet Access is dropped by 0.59 megabits per second. So we give a slight edge here to IP Vanish's speed test because they didn't cause as much of a drag on the VPN service or my download speeds once they were engaged. Just for a note here, my IP service provider gives me 6.00 megabits per second, so I'm actually doing a bit better than what I'm paying for, which is a good thing. We'll move over and we'll take a look at our IP locations and see how they compare, how the two VPN services compare against each other next. So with the IP location test, we're looking to see if the server location that we've selected is actually what's being broadcast. For example, if I selected a server in Seattle, Washington, I want to make sure that it's broadcasting Seattle, Washington and only showing Seattle, Washington. So both Private Internet Access and IP Vanish here had multiple servers where that was the case. They each did have one though where they were showing different locations than what I had selected. Neither of them though showed my true location from where I'm surfing from. So for this one, neither one was a clear winner on this one, so there was no advantage given to either one here. So now we're going to take a look at the platforms that are supported by both VPN services. Both of them support Windows, Mac OS X, iOS, Android, and Linux. IP Vanish services a couple extra ones that Private Internet Access does not. They have support for Chromebook as well as for using routers. So because of this, I give IP Vanish a slight advantage here. So finally we come to the DNS leak test. What this was looking at to see is if we were broadcasting from multiple server locations and how well the VPN services do to hide that and only show one server being detected. So we use 3 different websites: dnsleaktest.com, dnsleak.com, and dns-leak.com. As to be expected, before the VPN services were turned on, both of them showed that we had a DNS leak test and then detecting various numbers of servers, between 2 to 4 for the different services that we're testing. After though, Private Internet Access showed no DNS leak test and that they only had one server being detected, which is the one that we would have selected where we're broadcasting from. And the same goes for IP Vanish, with one minor caveat though. When I was doing the test on www.dnsleak.com, the site said that there was a DNS leak, but when I looked over the data, I could only see that there was one server being broadcast. So for this DNS leak test, they both performed equally well, and there was no difference. So in conclusion, we found that Private Internet Access fared better with their customer service, their pricing, and their payment methods. IP Vanish fared better on the speed test and the platform supported, and areas where there was no noticeable difference was the privacy, the IP locations, and the DNS leak. Both of these services provide good value for money. What I found though was that Private Internet Access had a slight advantage over IP Vanish, so my recommendation here would be to use Private Internet Access. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below and we'll get back with you shortly. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video and have yourself a fantastic day. Thank you.